Well, howdy there. My name's Riggs Horton with Little McClanahan Farm, and today we're going to attempt something a little different. We're going to try to tap this black walnut tree and a few others that we have around these parts and collect some sap out of there so we can create some black walnut syrup, which I've heard is very delicious. So anyway, today we're going to be going over and attempting the tapping process. Hope you enjoy the process. Alright, so I've got together most of the parts that I think we'll need. So we've got ourselves this wooden hammer here. Now a lot of people recommend a rubber mallet, but I couldn't find one. I know I have one somewhere, so this will do. What we've got here is this is a little plastic tapping kit. So we've got these little taps. You can get these off Amazon. I'll link it in the bio, and you've got this tubing. And we'll show you how this works. But anyway, you drill a hole in a tree with this drill. And they came with a bit that's the right size, and so I put a little piece of duct tape on there so I can know how deep. It's right at the 2-inch mark. You want to go between 1.5 inches to 2 inches. You don't want to go past that. And so I put a little tape there so I kind of know where to stop. Got ourselves a tape measure so we can measure, because you want to typically do it about 3 or so feet off the ground. And then we've got us a compass, because I've heard it's best if you do it on the south side of the tree. So anyway, back to this hammer. So once you drill the hole in, you want to use this hammer to tap in the little plastic taps, because if you use like a metal hammer, you could break them. So so our first project now is to drill some holes in the lids of our 5-gallon buckets, and that way we can stick the hose right in there and not have to worry about stuff falling in, like rain or bugs or bark or whatever might fall in. So we're going to do that now. So to drill into the bucket lids, we're going to want to find something that's a bit smaller than the diameter of this hose, so it can wedge in there pretty good and form a pretty good seal. Just 3/8 a bit ought to do it. So anyway, there's nothing real particular about putting these holes in the lid. You just put it in there. Now actually, if your tree is over 20 inches wide, you can put 2 taps in it. So for one of these lids, I'm going to actually put 2 holes so I can run 2 hoses to the same bucket from the same tree. But if your tree's under that, it's for the health of the tree, it's best just to do 1 tap. So we'll see if this is the right size. Okay, let's see if the hose goes in there. Squeeze in there just a little bit. Yep, perfect. So that creates a good seal. So there, we'll go ahead and make this the one for both trees. But anyway, 1 down, a few more to go. Well, the buckets for the trees in our property are ready to go. So let's load everything in the UTV and go find our trees. As for the hose, we're going to cut it on the spot with these scissors. Alright, so here we are at the black walnut tree, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our compass and check to see which side is the south side. So if the north's over here, then this over here is going to be the south side. Optimally, that's the side you want to tap. So the south side of my tree happens to be basically my creek's bank. So that's where we're going to tap. So now we're going to try to get in here and close to it, measure how tall 3 feet looks on this tree, because that's about the number you want to be. About 3 feet high, and on the south side is the best. Alright, we got about 3 feet. So And you also want to find, because black walnut bark is kind of bumpy, it's got pretty good bark pattern, so you want to make sure that when you drill in between the rows of bark, so you're actually at the base of the tree, because otherwise that would affect your how far your bit's going to go. You want to make sure you get into the tree good. Okay, got the drill now, and we're going to just drill right up to about 2 inches. And we're going to drill, you want to drill at a bit of an upward angle, so instead of going straight in, you want to go just not a crazy amount, but just a bit, just to have a little natural flow action. So we're just going to go in there and just make sure you get good power behind it. Okay, now we got our tap and our hammer, and to the best of my understanding, you just tap this into the tree, make sure this little part that connects to the hose is going to be down, and I think that's it. Stick that up in there. I think that's it. Alright, should be as simple as that. And we're going to take this end of the hose and wedge it up on into the end of this tap here. Like that. I don't think there's much else to it besides that. And you know, it will make sure the lid's on a good position to go in there. But yeah, and then we'll just snip it off. All right, that should be good. So now all we're gonna do is just fish this into this hole right here. We've got that started. We'll just go ahead and push that down through till it's looks good and even. That right there should do it. Well, now that we have that tree tapped, we're going to go to the other one on our property. So again, we're going to drill kind of up at an angle, but not too great of an angle. Look at that white, healthy wood. All right, go ahead and install our tap here. That should be good. Stick the hose on, thread it over these little, whatever you call these things that you're supposed to keep it on. Now we got our bucket here. And since this one, we're just going to cut it right about here. That should be good. Just stick it right into the hole right there. There we go, and that should honestly be it. Now we just got to wait a little bit for the tree to fall out and this sap to flow, and we're going to do it to the other side. Same tree, different side. Look for us a good little gap in between them. This looks like a good spot. Here's the hose. That looks good. Now we're going to just run it around for here. It should flow pretty good, I think. So cut it off. Stick it in the hole. Alrighty, well that should do it, I think. So, yeah. Well, anyway, folks, that's about going to do it for this video, and I appreciate you coming along and watching the process. So hopefully these trees will start flowing soon, and we'll have a bunch of sap that we can then do another video on how to process it. But in any case, I hope this was a helpful video to you, and that you have a good day. God bless y'all. Thanks for watching.